We all live busy lives and we find it tedious to do some things. Many of us look for alternatives, fun ways to study and learn. Subjects like Spanish require repetitive practice, and we believe that we can solve this with our game Conjugation Champion.
Our target audience is Spanish 1 students or people starting to learn Spanish for the first time. And our goal is to provide an alternative, fun way to learn Spanish conjugations in present tense.
We learn, it's really boring, and I can't find a way to learn appropriately. And especially in Spanish, I think they just give us a ton of work, but I don't really learn from it, and it's a lot of work. So I think there has to be a new way that we can learn more efficiently.
How many years have you been in Spanish?
I've been in Spanish for 2 years.
And what are your thoughts on the class?
I just don't really like it. It's really boring to me. They just assign a ton of work, and I don't really learn much from all that work.
The user learns the conjugation endings for the AR verbs from a song we display on the first panel. With this song in mind, the user has to choose the correct conjugation for the English phrase we show on the screen. The user does this by guiding their character into the pathway that he or she thinks contains the correct conjugation, and they do this by using the up and down arrow keys.
Our game features 3 levels, one for each different type of word. The first level includes AR, the second level includes ER, and the last level is a combination of both words. One of the methods that we created is generate random. This method's essential purpose is to use the map.random method with a range of 23 to randomly find an integer and save it as random. This random variable is used as the index for our arrays that carry strings of words.
Our 2 arrays are known as English phrases and Spanish phrases. In each array we have 25 strings. The corresponding strings at each index are the direct translations of the verbs we are using. Each pair of strings is displayed on the screen during gameplay, and the number random is used to decide what strings are displayed on the screen. Using a random number will ensure that the user gets tested on the most possible number of verbs. In the key pressed handler event of our play panel, we have an if-else block, which deals with the input-output of our game. As we mentioned, the user controls his or her character by pressing the up and down arrows. When the user presses the up arrow, his character's Y coordinate decreases by 30 pixels. As soon as the user presses the up or down arrow, repaint is called and the character is repainted into the new position on the panel. During the past several weeks, we received feedback from several different individuals, including Spanish 1 students or Spanish 2 students, as well as our mentor, which was Spanish 1 and 2 teacher Mrs. Abarca. The first major piece of feedback that we received from Mrs. Abarca was that before we start gameplay, we should add an example of an AR verb conjugation on the first panel, along with our song that we are playing as the user reads the instructions. Ms. Abarca believed that by doing this, not only would we give a visual representation of our content, in addition to our auditory content, which is the song. Spanish 1 student Yinkai Lee said that our first panel had too much text on it, and it made the game unappealing, and he did not feel like reading it upon seeing it. To solve this issue, we broke up our instructions, explanations, and song into different segments and split them up within the panel. And only one segment is displayed to the user at a time, making sure that the user is not discouraged from playing the game. Another Spanish student, Rahul Ravi, said that to make the game more visually appealing and exciting, we should use varying colors in our text and game components. So we decided to create different colors to use for our questions and our answers, as well as our instructions. By using different colors, not only could we vary our color scheme, but we could also make the game more visually appealing.